This is day 7 of Advent of Cyber 2025, and this challenge is called Network Discovery, Scan to Clause. Christmas preparations are delayed. OPSEC are breached our QA environment and locked us out. Without it, the TBFC projects can't be tested, and our entire SOCMOS pipeline is frozen. To make things worse, the server is slowly transforming into a twisted Eastmas mode. Can you uncover OPSEC's trail, find a way back into TBFC DevQA01, restore the server before the bunny's takeover is complete? For this task, you'll need to check every place to hide, every open port that bunny's left unprotected. The learning objectives for this challenge are to learn the basics of network service discovery with Nmap, learn core network protocols and concepts along the way, and apply your knowledge to find a way back into the server. For this challenge, we need both the target VM and attack box, which will get set up and continue into discovering network services. Although we lost access to the QA server, at least it's still active. We know its IP address. That's good news, since now we can counteract and hopefully find a way back. Ensure you understand basic networking concepts like network ports, and let's plan the engagement. So first need to know the target, which in our case is TBFC DevQA1, which is on the virtual machine IP. We want to scan the IP for open ports, especially common ones like 22 for SSH and 80 for HTTP. Explore what's behind the open ports. Maybe it's a vulnerable web server running on port 80. And then exploit the exposed service. Find a way in, kick out the bad bunnies from the QA server. Along the practical of today's task, you'll find 3 keys. Keep note of them as you'll need them for the web app. The format will be keyname: key. So the simplest port scan. There are many tools you can use to scan for open ports, from pre-installed Netcat on Linux and PowerShell on Windows, to specialized powerful tools like Nmap and Nabu. Let's use Nmap for this task and perform a basic scan from the attack books or your own VPN connected attacking machine. So open a new command line terminal and run the following command. Okay, so my attack box has loaded up, so let's open up a new terminal and we will run Nmap and use the IP address of the virtual machine. So 10.48.138.231 is my one. We'll run that, and we can see a list of the ports which are open on it. The command scanned the top 1000 most commonly used ports and reported if any service was running there. The only results you received are an opened SSH port for remote machine access and an HTTP port for a website. Oh, actually, my mistake. I did the attack box IP, so let's do this one up here, which is 10.48.187.168. I did npm instead of Nmap. There you go. And as we can see, now we've got just those 2 ports open. So this means you can now access the server via SSH if you know the password, or open the website by visiting the IP from within the attack box. So we may as well go to that website, take a look. So in the URL, so add the URL to the clipboard, then go to that page, and it's loading up the website that is running on the virtual machine. But it wants us to do more Nmap scanning on virtual machines. So it wants us to scan all the ports instead of just the top 1000. So we'll do nmap -p - script is equal to banner, then the virtual machine IP. So while that's running, we'll continue. Looks like you found a running FTP server and some custom TBFC application. Even though FTP runs on port 21 by default, it's possible to change the port to any other one, such as 21212. Let's try accessing the FTP in anonymous mode with the FTP command and see if we can find our way in. You can follow the commands from the terminal below. So I was going to wait for this Nmap to finish running, but it's taking a long time. So let's just cancel it and continue on. So from the command here, we can see it's using FTP to connect to the virtual machine, and it's specifying 21212 as the port to use. So we will do that, and I spelt FTP wrong, and it's come up connected, and it wants us to specify a name. So anonymous. Login was successful, so let's do it ls. You can see TBFC QA key 1. So if we do a get on that TBFC QA key 1, we have retrieved the file. I noticed it had a dash there, so maybe we need to do that. And we can see here key 1. I'm going to assume this is one of the answers. So let's copy then go down to here. No, it's not. So let's continue as normal. But just so we don't lose it, let's just open up Notepad, save it there. so we can have it for later. Okay, port scan modes. Good job finding the first flag. There is nothing more we can see on the FTP server, so let's move on to the custom TVFC app on port 25251. Since it is not a well-known service like HTTP or FTP, your web browser or FTP client won't know how to access it. Luckily, you can always use Netcat, a universal tool to interact with network services. So use exclamation to X from FTP, and we'll use netcat-v and the IP address of the virtual machine and specify port 25251. We have successfully connected to it, and let's type in the help command list. Type get maybe. Oh, get key, and there we go. We have the second key. I'll copy and paste into the notepad. So once you receive the key, Control C to exit from that, and I'll clear the terminal. Congratulations on the second flag, but where to look for the third one? Till now, you have scanned only TCP ports, but there are also 65535 ports for UDP, another transport protocol. There is a chance HOPSEC secrets are hiding there too. You can switch to UDP scan by specifying the -SU flag, 50 mmap-SU n.48.187.168. After a minute, we should see open port 53 associated DNS, protocol that drives a model web by connecting domains to IPs, and many more. DNS is a complex topic, and many secrets can hide there. Let's just ask the DNS server if it knows the key by using dig. So it wants us to do dig at 10.48.187.168, the virtual machine IP, txt key.tbfc.local plus short, and I didn't get anything, so let's see if I wrote something wrong. I didn't do key 3. That's the issue. We now have key 3 Xmas. Copy that and paste it here for later. So now that you know all 3 keys, it's time to call your TVFC teammates and kick out the bad bunnies. So log into the server's admin panel. That was in the web browser, which I assume it's here. Let's enter key. Yeah, it seems to be stuck on this maybe. I'll try. Okay, there we go. Stopped and refreshed. We'll enter first key. Okay, no, we're meant to break up the keys like this. So key 1, key 2, key 3. Easter is the new Xmas. Add that to the clipboard here and paste that here. So for some reason it seems to just freeze when it's loading. So by pressing stop, it brought this back up. I've now got the terminal, so let's go to that. And you can see it's just kind of freezing. So by pressing stop, then actually loads the page. Seems like. I'll maybe refresh it. That seems fine. Once you have access to the terminal, there's no need to scan the ports, as you can simply ask the OS to list its open ports, also called listing ports. You can do it by running ss-tunlp, one that's sat on all the systems, inside the secret console of the web app. The output, you may see exactly the same services you scanned before, listening on 000, also some listening on 127.0.0.1. So I'm not sure what's going on with my virtual machine. It was just freezing, so I've stopped it and restarted it, but we may as well try answer some of the questions while it's loading. I need to come back to this when it's loaded back up, but we can answer the parts for the keys. So first part of the key was Easter, second part of the key is there, and the third part from the DNS records is new Xmas. And just as we finish that, the virtual machine has come back up again. So we'll try go to that site again, and it still seems to be freezing. So if I stop it, you can see the message at the top is pwned by OPSEC. If we try to unlock again, okay, so I ended up running out of attack box time, so I had to get the VPN set up. Hopefully if I just go to this, it works, and hopefully it doesn't mess up, which seems to be the case. So it looks like I should be able to unlock and actually go to the terminal. There we go. We've now got the terminal set up. So going back to where we were. So inside the terminal, we are to do ss-tunlp, and what is it that we're looking for? You can see the ports that it has open. With root permissions, you can also view the process column. For now, let's focus on the 3306, which is the default MySQL database port. That was one of the questions in here, 3306, so submit that. Now we are to use the MySQL program to access the database. So if we copy this and run it, so show all tables, we can see there's a flags table. I'm assuming we can do change the query so it's select everything from the flags table, which you could do. And now there's the flag here, which we can copy and paste to here, which, oh, something wrong with that. Okay, I need to get rid of that a little bit. Or is there more? Seems to have copied incorrectly. Let's try again. Copy, we need to copy more of it. It seems like I have to just go through manually type it all out. So THM for all underscore services discovered. I think that's what it was. Looks correct. Let's submit it. And now that's the last question done. So that's day 7 of Advent of Cyber 2025 complete. Like this video, make sure to like and subscribe.